When you get ready to purchase fabric, do you go and pick out the same style or flavor of fabric every time? Let's say your Civil War or your flowers or animals. Well, today we're going to talk about the diversity in 3-yard quilt patterns and how you can use them for whatever your style is, and it's going to look great. So stay tuned and I'll show you how you can have it your way. It's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. Today we're going to talk about diversity in fabric. You know, we all have our little style, and I know whenever I'm buying fabric, I have a tendency to pick out the same kinds of things. But one of the things that is so magical about 3-yard quilts is that no matter what fabric you pick for it, it's probably going to look just stunning and you're going to love the way it is. So today we're going to show you multiple fabrics for the same pattern so that you can see how changing it up and where you place your fabric is going to be great. Okay, stepping stones is a great example of how you can change your type of fabric that you're using in the quilt. Let's put that one up here on the table and we'll talk about that. So this particular one is a Christmas fabric that we used for this particular quilt. And you have a focus block, so it's real easy to pick out your number one fabric. It's always going to be your focus fabric, and then it works with the pattern showing you exactly where that focus fabric is going to be. Then you want 2 other fabrics, and they need to be in contrast to one another. So we call them light and dark, but the main thing is you want them to be contrasting. Now, I don't have this fabric any longer, but I do have this great Christmas fabric, so you can kind of get an idea of this, the way the focus fabric is very obvious. It's your Santas. So you can use the Santas in this focus fabric, and then we're going to use our 2 remaining fabrics. You want your darkest one here, that's your number 3 fabric, and your number 2 fabric goes in this section. You always take the focus fabric out of the equation, then compare these 2. And I love the way this has the gold frames on the Santas. Then you've got gold stars. They have a little bit of a shimmer and shine to those. And then we have this great mesh. This is gorgeous with the little gold squares. It also has the stripes. So this particular one is 8021555, Gifts from Santa. Stepping Stones is the name of the pattern, and that pattern is an individual. It's also available in Pretty Darn Quick. Now, it's really cool because once you buy one of these great patterns or one of our books, then you can make that same pattern over and over again. And sometimes people tell me they have their go-to pattern and that they will make it as a gift and they'll make it for themselves. So that's something that's really cool about the 3-yard quilt patterns is the diversity, the way that you can use any fabric in that pattern and it'll look great. Now this is the same exact quilt pattern, and that is Stepping Stones, and we changed it from the Christmas to a floral. Let's put that up here. And so now I have a floral. I don't have that fabric, but we want you to always see what these quilts look like once they're made up. So let's say you bought that Stepping Stones so that you could get a Christmas quilt, and then comes along spring, you'll want to change it out. So this would be great. You put your flowers right here, and then you take that out of the equation. You compare these 2. You've got your light and your dark. So your 2 and your 3. This is going to be a very romantic kind of a quilt. 8021556, Rambling Rose. Stepping Stones is your pattern, and it is available in the Pretty Darn Quick. Now the next one that we're going to show you is also Stepping Stones. I don't have more fabric to show you on this, but that's the other key. Any 3 1-yard cuts of fabric will work with any one of my patterns. So this one is just another version of the Stepping Stones that you can see in a more of a modern type fabric, a little more contemporary. Now let me show you the way you read the patterns, just as a little review, because you hear me talking about how You've got a fabric 1, a fabric 2, and a fabric 3. So this particular quilt pattern is shown in color here, and you can see very clearly that you've got your floral is your number 1 fabric. And then if you look right over here in the black and white diagram, you can see it has a box with polka dots, and then you've got polka dots showing here. That's the number 1 fabric, and it will show you where your focus fabric is going to appear. So in this case, it's inside the block, and it's also this strip here. Then you look, you have a light and a dark, and it's just an example of how the white will fall to the back. That's your lightest fabric, and your dark is your accents, and a lot of times your borders are your binding. So that's the way every pattern is written, and you can do that consistently across the board. This one, I do not have the Mickey Mouse, but this one is called Pretty Please. And Pretty Please, again, has a focus fabric for you. And you can see as I'm showing you these different quilts that they all have a different feel or look according to what it might be that you might make all children's quilts, and so you'd like something like this. But what if you liked the Cape fabric where we have the big, bold, beautiful prints? So we're going to show you how you can go from the little juvenile looking print to something big and dramatic like this. So you're going to cut these up into your focus fabric squares and use them here, and I've got pieces and parts for you to show how this goes together. Then you've got these two compared. You're going to do the white or the lightest in number 2 and the darkest in number 3. So let's look at that. Now when you're making one of my patterns, a lot of times I use the strip piece method. And this is where you sew 3 long pieces together, and then you will cut a unit. And so I did that before the program. So let me show you. Here is the unit that we cut off of the long strips. That is going to be the center of this block. And so we're going to put it right here. And then you're going to do your side pieces. You're going to sew those onto the sides of this block like so. And that gives you the secondary block. Your first block, see how this great big bold fabric, look how the fabrics will change. So here you have the kind of an orangey color flower here and a pink and a red here. It's going to be just a gorgeous quilt made in those larger prints. So I'm going to put this here and crop it out so you can see how that looks when you put it together. Isn't that gorgeous? That's going to be a great use for that Cape fabric. Okay. And the information for you. This kit is 8020691. It's Crimson Peony. Pretty Please is the name of the pattern I was showing you, and that's super simple and fast to make. But it's only available as an individual pattern, not as a in one of our books. And do remember this too, and that is that every time you buy a kit, you can either select one free pattern or skip the little pattern, buy 3 kits, and you can get one of my books free. So the pattern does come with the kit. It is free. Now here's another Pretty Please, and it's already made up for you, and this is a great little bird. So we've now shown you the Mickey Mouse, then we showed you the flowers, and now we have yet a different one. Let's put that one up here. A different look that you can get from making the same exact pattern. We have our birds, and that's our focus fabric. It'll go into that square just like the big peonies did. Then you've got your number 2 fabric to coordinate with the green. That's going to be your number 2 fabric. And I like using number 2 fabrics to have a little pattern in it. So you'll see that a lot of times. Sometimes they're solid, but I kind of like having just a little bit of motion in there. And there's your number 3 fabric. That'll be your block and your binding and your border. Once again, it is the Pretty Please pattern, and it's 8021545. Happy Meadow, and Pretty Please is your pattern. Okay, now we've got one more Pretty Please, and it's just to let you know that it looks great with the kid fabric. This is a baby fabric here, and it looks absolutely adorable. And I don't know about you, but I love having a bigger baby blanket because it's nice to, I mean, I guess people still put their kids on the floor? I like to put mine on the floor with a blanket, and I have pictures of them down there playing with toys. When they weren't crawling yet, they were just lying on the blanket. So it's great to give them a nice size blanket for something like that. So that particular one is the baby print. So we showed you the birds, the babies, and what was the third one? I've already forgotten what my third one. Mickey Mouse, yes. So you saw different ones that you would be able to make your fabric. So whatever your desire in fabric is, it's going to look great in 3 yards. Now this is another pattern. This one is called Park Place, and Park Place is from one of my books that's we've published recently, and it has a block that's sashed. And see, again, I used a little pattern in my number 2 fabric. So we'll put that one up here, and look at this. And this one is called Paisley Parade. So don't be afraid to put a patterned fabric in your number 2 spot, because it does what it's supposed to do, and that's create the contrast, and it gives it a lot of movement to have something like that in your number 2. So here's your number 1 fabric. It is in this block, and you also make it in these rectangular 4-patch blocks. Then you've got your number 2, that's your border, and this one especially looks great when you have a pattern in that border because it's a bigger border. Then you have your number 3 fabric here, and you have your kit all ready to go. And this is called Paisley Parade 8021111. Park Place is the name of the pattern. Fast and Fun is the book, and it's only available, Park Place is only available in that book. So we're suggesting an alternate pattern of stepping stones. That would look really good too. Now another one that we used with Park Place is this great new moda that's just come out, and it has, again, the same basic blocks, but it just looks so totally different when you change out the fabrics. Now this one is a brand new fabric. It has not arrived, but we did get samples so we can make a quilt, and we're showing it to you today. And if you are interested in this one, be sure to get notified when the fabrics arrived by visiting our website, and you search for the name of the kit or the number of the kit. You'll click on email me when this is back in stock, and you will receive an email. As soon as we put the inventory up online, it immediately will send you an email so that you'll know that this is back in stock. And this is gorgeous. Very unusual color combination, but I love the way this looks. The way it's brought the teal and then the aqua together, and this great kind of a yellowy green, and you've got a little navy in there. This is a gorgeous quilt. Let's look at the fabric a little bit more closely. And this one has your butterfly in your number 1 spot. That is your focus fabric. Your number 2 spot is the aqua, and the number 3 spot is your teal. And this is just gorgeous. See how it picks up that kind of a, would you call it a limey green, I guess is what that is. It's very nice. Okay, this one is 8021439 Cottage Blue. Park Place is your name of your pattern from Fast and Fun, but an alternate for this would be the Easy Street pattern, and that one would look really good in that too. It has a little bit bigger block. One of the blocks is a little bit bigger, but because you can use any one of my patterns for any 3 yards, it would look great in that one as well. Here's Park Place made up in tropical fish. And I know you'll probably be sad, but I don't have this fabric either. We do try to keep fabrics in, but this one was uber popular. And it's great the way you can see your fish through here and then your alternating block. Let's put that up here and show you what we do have. This one is called Happy Hearts. It would be fun, a very colorful quilt. So Last one we showed you was a little more subdued, but it's just for those who like blues and greens. This one is more childlike in its focus. So you've got these colorful hearts as your number one. That's going to be everywhere you see the fish. And then we've got a polka dot that's going to go in here. You're going to border the block with the polka dots. And then you're going to have this great purple. That is going to look so cute. Just look how cute that looks with those hearts. Isn't that awesome? So this is a fun quilt that you're going to enjoy making. This one is called Happy Hearts. Makes a great youthful quilt. 8021557. Park Place is the pattern from Fast and Fun. An alternative pattern would be Dominique. And that one, if you were to make that, you would have the hearts in these blocks. You would have the polka dot in the alternate block. And then you'd have your big flower in the center made out of the purple. It would look great. Okay, one of our most popular patterns, I think, is this Sew Quick. We have a lot of people that make it as their first pattern when they're learning to sew, but we have plenty of people that just make it as their go-to pattern when they're in a hurry. It has a big 10-inch block, so it's going to show off your fabric really well when you have a bold fabric like this. And we do have a second version. Now, when you look at this, you'll see it has a black and white stripe, the polka dot, and the flower. We ran out of the black and white stripe, so we found another black and white stripe. It's just a little bit different, but it's going to do the trick. It'll look very similar to this. So we have our big daisy, and this has just a little bit of a silver sheen to this. It has little polka dots that have a little bit of a silver metallic. Then you've got your polka dot in the yellow. I just love this quilt. It is a happy quilt. And then this will be your stripe. So it's a little different stripe than this, but that's going to look gorgeous. And this, I can't think of anybody that wouldn't like this quilt. It's great. 8021558, Daisy Shimmer number 2. Sew Quick is your pattern. It's from our book, Quilt's Favorite. It is available as a pattern, and you can also get it as a downloadable book. Now, all of our books are $15.99 each, or free when you buy 3 kits. If you buy and ask for a downloadable book, we will send you a code so that you can download that book. Okay, here's another version of Sew Quick, another kind of a natural type fabric. I always think about my neighbor Jane. She's a bird watcher, and she asked when we live out in the country, and when we first moved out there, she came over and said, I'm a bird watcher, and while this was just property, I used to come over here and watch the birds. Is it okay if I come back? I said, absolutely. So she loves to see all the different birds and things, and so that one really reminds me of Jane. Okay, this one is the alternative. We do not have this particular fabric anymore, but we do have this great new fabric that's just come in, and this is called Country Quilting, and it would look so sweet in this quilt. You would have a big block of this flower, and then you would have the light and the dark in this. So you've got your focus, you've got your number 2, and you've got your number 3. And this one is just another look for this great quilt. So this one is 8021559, Country Quilting. Sew Quick is your pattern, and it's from the download-only book, Quilt Favorites. Now we have one more quilt to show you, no more fabric to show you, but this one is Sew Quick once again. So you can really see the versatility of these quilt patterns by how we're showing you that just about any fabric would look great in any one of these. So this is a baby fabric, so you've got the cute little characters, and we tried to make this one kind of non-gender so it'd look great for a little boy or a little girl. Don't have any more of that fabric, but if you've got kid fabrics, this is one of your go-to patterns for that. Now we've shown you lots of fabric. Remember, we have lots and lots of quilts on our website, and we have a lot of variety. So we have children's, we have flowers, and I believe that you're putting some extra quilt kits up there.
We are. In the patterns you saw today, there will be some extra kits.
Oh, great. So we have more quilt kits that are going up that you've not seen before. Now, if you're new to our channel, we want to just point out we do have 7 books in print. Every pattern in these books are written for 3 1-yard cuts of fabric. And you can buy the books individually for $15.99, or if you're interested, you can get a book bundle. And the book bundle has all 7 of the books that are in print for one price, a special price, plus free shipping. So you might want to check that out as well. Well, I hope you got the gist of this whole thing, that you can use just about any kind of fabric in our 3-yard quilts, and any pattern works with any of the fabrics that you choose. So they're a lot of fun to make, and they will be your go-to patterns from now on. This is Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. We hope you'll subscribe, click on the little bell, and make a comment. I love to hear from you, and I will answer every one of your comments if you'll make us a little comment down there. All right, it's great to talk to you, and I'll see you again next time.